Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Mamahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gautashila हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विषमानुसुते देवी नमामि प्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। Welcome to day 4. We were discussing about initiation vows. So few slides were left from that lesson. Uh, if a devotee having after taken initiation um, or during the process of initiation fails in following some of the principle. So in that scenario, what that devotee has to do to rectify the mistake? What is the process of rectification? What should that devotee do? Should that devotee leave the path of bhakti? Should that devotee stop associating with devotees? Should that devotee feel hopeless and helpless that I can never change, I can never become a good devotee? Should that devotee start doubting the purity of the process, gen- genuineness of the process? Should that devotee start worshipping some demigod? Should that devotee go to a different institute and start following some other guru? Hmm? No, right? Does
He
that
should.
devotee have to commit suicide? No, right? Does that devotee have to, mm, what do you say, hide about his problems or failure? Mm, Not required, right? Does that devotee have to think that um actually, mm, actually, I can actually, if in this life I cannot become a good devotee, so next life I'll try to become a devotee. This life again, let me go back to what I was doing before. No. Does that devotee have to fast for 10 days, 15 days, 20 days to rectify the mistake? None of these things. What does that have to do with it for? The devotee have to sincerely beg for forgiveness in front of Krishna, in front of spiritual master, in front of Vaishnavas. Repent for the mistake done and did make a determination that I'll not do that mistake again, isn't it? And to purify the heart, seriously and sincerely continue to practice devotional service. Right? Isn't it? Correct. So Prabhupada says the purification process is in the heart. Let's read this. Shauvan Mataji, please read.
Okay. Um, According to the Vedas, there is a certain regulation that if one falls down from his ex- exalted position, he has to undergo certain ritualistic process to purify himself. But here there is no such condition, because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee, due to his remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, should be continued without stoppage.
Yes, that's the solution, right? The purification process is chanting of the holy name, because there's nothing more purifying than the holy names of Krishna when chanted in the proper spirit, right? Isn't it? Hmm? What are some appropriate steps of rectification? So, what are the steps I already mentioned? Being repentful, begging for forgiveness, trying sincerely very hard to not do the mistake again, right? And practice Krishna consciousness properly again. So I'll tell you something very interesting and important. Actually, sometimes because of past bad habits, a person may commit a mistake or may break the principle which has to be followed again due to some circumstances, due to some accident, accidentally. But one thing that a devotee should not miss or should never miss is chanting of the holy names, isn't it? Because to chant Krishna's names, that 16 rounds of Krishna's names, the Mahamantra, is something which is beyond any material boundary or condition. You can do it in any situation, any damn situation, even if you're admitted in a hospital, still you can do it, right? And 24 hours is a lot of time to actually achieve that goal of chanting 16 rounds. So, who is a sincere devotee? Someone may be struggling to follow some principle because of some past bad habit. But sincere devotee is someone who is at least uh, completing 16 rounds by the end of the day. Somehow or other, because that is something which is in your hand, right? Correct. Hmm. So, what is don't that you should not do this? Maybe sometimes difficult to follow, but what is to do? The do, that is something which we can always, then that we should do, that we should do. That is sincerity. And that doing that will always help us and give us strength to also start following the don't, isn't it? So therefore, chanting of holy name should not be given in any situation, any condition. That should always be done. Mhm. Prabhupada says, he says that, let's read this, Lalit Mehra poetry. Unmute yourself now, Prabhu. We can't hear you.
Tug of war, this is tug of war, so don't be afraid of Maya. Simply enhance chanting and you will be conquered. That's all. Krishna says, Kointya prati janahi na me bhakta prayanasati
Nashyati.
nashati. You just declare my devotee will never be vanished by Maya. Maya cannot do anything. Simply, you have to become strong. And what is the strength? Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Loudly, yes. Lecture Bhagavad Gita 3.6-10, Los Angeles, December 23, 1968. .
Yes, so this lesson gets over here. Prabhupada says it's a tug of war. It's a war between Maya and struggling devotee. It's difficult sometimes, right? Mm. So we should know one thing, and any devotee who is struggling and is sincere, that devotee is also a very special soul. Because how many people in this world are ready to struggle to become Krishna conscious? People are struggling to earn money. People are struggling for mundane sense pleasure. People are struggling to have a good social prestige. People are struggling for all material nonsense, mundane things. It itself is a great thing to struggle to become a devotee. And anyone who pledges to do that, even if that person is failing, even if that person is failing to become a perfect devotee, just that determination and that sincerity of purpose that I want to become a devotee is itself praiseworthy, isn't it? So if you see some devotee is failing, don't make fun of that devotee, don't laugh at that devotee, don't criticize that devotee. And if you see yourself also failing, don't become hopeless, right? Rather, stay determined that you have chosen a very difficult path, very special path, and it will take time to become a good devotee, right? Hmm. So we have to become little considerate with ourselves also. That no problem. It's okay. And I'll take time. But yes, I'm on the right way. And second thing, where will I go if I give up Krishna consciousness? What hope do I have? I have no hope, isn't it? So there's no option of giving up Krishna consciousness. That if I give up Krishna consciousness, my life will become better. My situation will become better. Nothing like that, isn't it? Right? Like sometimes in ISKCON, it has happened in the past that some devotee did a mistake, and then his complaint was taken to the spiritual master. And the other devotees they told spiritual master, you should remove him from the temple. You should remove him from the ISKCON community. You should do this. You should do that. But what would a genuine spiritual master do in such a situation? A genuine spiritual master would say, if I remove, then what hope will that person ever have of becoming a better person? No, isn't it? There's no hope. So the only hope is you continue to chant Krishna's name, continue to practice devotional service. That is the only hope. And that's what should be encouraged, right? That's what one should be inspired to do continuously, regularly, right? Yes? Mhm. All right. So any devotee, when he or she is going through such a time, we should support that devotee, give strength to that devotee, help that devotee. Have you all done the reading which I had asked you to read from the handbook? Hmm? All the pages which I had asked. So you have done the reading. Let's start a new topic today, which is Guru Puja, worshipping the spiritual master. Is worshipping the spiritual master a cult? Is it a human worship, an idol worship, a hero worship? No, no, right? We are not worshipping we are not following a cult. We are not worshipping a hero, an idol. We are worshipping a representative of Krishna. Because Krishna is worshipable, his representative is also worshipable. Isn't it? Therefore, we worship Krishna. Just like we worship the sacred books like Gita and Bhagavad. We worship the holy dham. We worship the holy name. We worship the uh, um, personalities related to Krishna. So similarly, we worship the spiritual master who is a very special devotee, dear devotee of Krishna. Tadiya Nam, right? Associate of Krishna. Correct? So that's why we worship him. And why it should be done? because worship is a means of showing your respect. It's a means of showing your gratitude. Mhm. It's a means of doing some service. Right? That's why it should be done. So we should have that respect for our spiritual master. Then only we can always listen to him, hear from him, follow him. It's said in the Guru Ashtaka prayer that we sing every day in the morning. Sakshat dharitvena samasta shastre uktas tatha bhavayata eva satbhihi. The spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. Hmm. This verse from Padma Purana, Lord Shiva is speaking to Durga Devi. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnor aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Of all kinds of worship, worship of Lord Vishnu is topmost. However, above the worship of Lord Vishnu is the rendering of service to Vaishnavas, who are related to Lord Vishnu. What are the ways we worship our founder Acharya? How do we worship our founder Acharya?
By keeping a photo of him at our altar, uh, you know, offering garlands, flowers, doing
Yes,
arti at his Guru Puja in temple, his Vyasa Puja, offering his favorite dishes to him time to time.
yes, very good. What are the ways to worship our founder Acharya?
We can
Mhm.
keep reading his books and following his instructions.
Mhm. And
Before chanting, we take pranam mantra of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
and we bow down daily to him. Then we do his Guru Puja. We attend his Vyas Puja. We write Vyas Puja letter or offering of Vyas Puja to him. Correct, isn't it? Hmm.
Yeah.
So these are the ways we worship Srila Prabhupada. Um, what are the benefits of daily worshipping the spiritual master?
We can seek his blessings so that by seeking his blessing, then we can also advance in Krishna consciousness and connect it to the Parampara system.
Yes. What else?
A
What are
strong
the
relationship between the guru and the disciple. It
yes,
Yeah.
makes our belief even more stronger towards our spiritual master.
And
correct,
keeping the faith alive in our heart. It helps
Following his
cultivate.
instructions.
correct. And what are the other benefits?
It gets connected to the Krishna's name every day by giving worship to Guru Puja.
We will be in a mood of servant of the Lord by surrender.
Correct. It helps us to develop that mood. I'm a servant. Correct. Yes. And also it helps us to remember always the position of the spiritual master. It's in human nature that you keep forgetting and you start taking personalities and things for granted, isn't it? So when you are singing Guru Puja, worshipping the Spirit, every day you're reminding he's not an ordinary human being. He's a special person, very dear to Krishna. He should be respected. I should not consider him as one of my, you know, uh, mm, fellow mates or someone whom I know who is just like me, something like that. So to help us not develop that kind of mentality or attitude, that respectful expression of showing worship and all that should be maintained. Let's read this. What does Prabhupada say about Guru Puja? Vipassana Mataji.
not self-aggrandizement. So this Guru Puja which we are doing, it is not self-aggrandizement. It is real teaching. You sing daily. What is that? Guru Mukha Padma Vakka ar na kariya aika. But this is translation. I tell you frankly, whatever little success is there, this Krishna consciousness movement. I simply believed what was spoken by my Guru Maharaja. You always continue that. Then every success will come. Arrival address New York, July 9 July 1976.
Yeah. Now let's read this from the handbook. Page number 43. We'll read this. Okay. Neelam Mataji, please read. Unmute yourself and read. Neelam Mataji. Okay, she's not there. Rupali Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Formal worship of ISKCON Gurus. Pranam Mantra. After chanting the Pranam Mantra for their Diksha Guru, all grand disciples and future generations should chant at least the first of Srila Prabhupada Pranam Mantras while offering obeisances as a means of respecting the founder Acharya. Offering Artika while performing Aarti in the temple or at temple related functions, a pujari may keep a small picture of his or her Diksha Guru on the Aarti tray or table instead of the altar, provided the Diksha Guru is an ISKCON approved Guru in good standing. The picture of Diksha Guru should be smaller in size than the picture of Srila Prabhupada on the altar, and it shall be removed after the Aarti. Guru Puja for current ISKCON Diksha Gurus, the disciples of ISKCON Gurus other than Srila Prabhupada may offer Guru Puja to their Gurus outside the temple room. The temple should provide facility to these disciple worship. Restricted titles. No one in ISKCON will be addressed publicly with the honorific title of His Divine Grace, nor be addressed either publicly or privately by the honorifics ending in Pada or Deva. Disciples may address their ISKCON, Diksha or Shiksha Gurus as Guru Deva or Guru Maharaj. Welcoming Vaishnavas. Events welcoming Vaishnavas including those serving as gurus to ISKCON temples should be modest. For example, offering of a sitting place, offering of prasadam and something to drink, presentation of a garland, and performance of kirtan. Vyas Puja. Do I read this, Prabhuji?
No, Mataji.
Thank you.
Yes, read this one. Vyas Puja for ISKCON current dictionary.
Vyas Puja for ISKCON current Diksha and Shiksha Gurus in order to focus more fully on Srila Prabhupada and every devotee's special relationship with him and ISKCON, Shiksha or Diksha Guru may accept public Guru Puja, Aarti and or foot bathing in person once a year in ISKCON property or on his or her Vyas Puja. This celebration may be held in the temple room. ISKCON members conducting Vyas Puja ceremonies for ISKCON gurus shall observe them in a modest way, significantly less elaborate than Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja. In general, devotees shall observe these Vyas Puja celebrations in their own locals. In ISKCON, Vyas Puja may be published only for Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you. So all that is self-explanatory. Why we should do Vyas Puja? Prabhupada explains that. Neela Mataji, please read.
Vyas Puja. Herein lies the secret of Sri Vyas Puja. When we meditate on the transcendental pastimes of the Absolute Godhead, we are proud to feel that we are His eternal servitors, and we become jubilant and dance with joy. All glory to my divine Master, for it is He who has out of His unceasing flow of mercy stirred up within such a movement of external existence. Let us bow down at his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Vyas Puja, homage to his divine grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Mumbai, February 1935.
So there is this statement of Lord Krishna to Arjuna from Adi Puran. Ye me bhakta janaha partha name bhaktascha te janaha mad bhaktanam cha ye bhaktas te me bhakta tamamata. Those who are my direct devotees are actually not my devotees, but those who are the devotees of my servant are actually my devotees. Okay. So this lesson ends here. Any questions from here, this particular lesson? Guru Puja.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So,
Yes, Mataji.
like my room, I mean my home altar, like if I'm keeping a Prabhupada's photo and my Guru Maharaj's photo, so the Prabhupada's photo should be bigger in size than my Guru Maharaj's photo. Because
In,
the
in the in
whole
the home in the home it doesn't matter. We don't have to really follow these things very strictly at home. It's more for the temple or the public properties which belong to ISKCON, right? So these have to be very strictly followed. At home it's okay. It doesn't matter if you have a bigger picture of Prabhupada or you have a bigger picture of your Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, if chanting 16 rounds for a while, if it is not completed on that day, that can be continued on the second day?
Actually, if it's a first of all, this thing should never happen. Never ever happen. You know, like you have missed your rounds. It's not that. Because I'll tell you why. Because once you do it or you allow your mind to do it, then it becomes a habit, right? And if you tell yourself this can never happen, it will never happen. Like I can tell you, I joined ISKCON in 2008 uh, when I was still a college going student, and it's 2024 now. So 16 years actually, right? Uh, and in these 16 years, only one day that also was just a mistake. I chanted only 15 rounds. Other than there was no day when I missed chanting. And that day also, it was because we were doing some camp for some young boys who were getting connected to ISKCON. And in the seva, I forgot that I have one round left. Like it just slipped out of my mind. So what I'm saying is because I never let myself think that it's okay to skip your rounds. It never happened with me. But there are devotees who think it's okay, sometimes we are so busy. How does it matter? And then what happens? every month or every 15 days, that day comes when they are not completing their routes. So you should tell your mind, just like you don't forget to eat, you don't skip your eating, you don't skip your sleeping, you don't skip your other such activities, you can't also skip chanting, whatever may happen. Then again, after being so rigid and firm, if someday accidentally you miss, accidentally, then next day you chant some extra rounds, beg forgiveness from Krishna, I'm sorry, I did not want to do it. That's okay. But not that, we from before we decide, okay, there is a way. If you miss your chanting next day, you can do it. That should not happen. That should not happen. Because we should know one thing, Prabhuji. The mind is very tricky. The mind is very tricky. And we will not understand when the mind has tricked us and taken us away from Krishna consciousness. So we have to be very careful dealing with our mind. So some certain things you have to tell the mind. No means no. No way escaping it. Right? And chanting 16 hours is the one thing that the mind has to agree. I have to do it. If I have not done it, I can't sleep. Then it's 11 o'clock at night, it's 12 o'clock at night, it's 1 a.m. in the morning, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. No, I can't sleep without complaining. Okay? That's why I'll tell you something. A devotee should not think I have 24 hours. A devotee should not think I have 24 hours in a day. A devotee should think I have only 22 hours in a day, not 24 hours. Only 22 hours I have. Why? Because 2 hours are gone for chanting. That I cannot count that I have 24 hours in it. I have only 22 hours in it. That's how we should think. Only 22 hours I have. Whatever I have to do, 22 hours I have to do it. Rest 2 hours is for chanting. Right? Yes.
Prabhuji, one question, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Prabhuji,
ma'am.
like I am able to do 16 round, but my daughter, she's in ninth class, 14 years old. So she like being a school student, if she's chanting only for 4 rounds and
Problem.
is it
Problem.
okay?
Yeah, no.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
When we are talking about children or talking about teenagers, we should know till a person has not come to the age 16, 17, 18, you can't really be so strict with that person because that person is still a child, right? So once that person is like very firm now in intelligence and knows what is life about and what all things to be done, then you can tell the child, okay, now you are grown up. Now you can't give such excuses. You must, must. So once a child has become 17, 18, then you can expect 16 now should be done daily. Then that is possible. It's not difficult. We also did it when we were 18, 19, we started chanting 16 hours daily. So it's not possible difficult. Then because what other responsibilities you have in life? You just have to study and you have to follow Krishna consciousness. You don't have to go earn money. You don't have to work at home and do all that. So you have only two things in life: study and practice Krishna consciousness. So manage your time in that, right? Mm. Okay, no questions, no more questions. Let's go to the next topic then, which is Guru Seva. So it's very important to serve the spiritual master. Like this verse is there from Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidhi pranipathena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. So there are three things which Krishna is asking Arjuna to do. What are they? Pranipata. You approach in us, you approach in surrender. Pariprashna, you inquire submissively. Sevaya, and you render some service. Right? So seva is very essential. Some people think spiritual life is all about hearing lectures, asking questions, visiting the temple once in a while. No, spiritual life is also about serving actively the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Because in the spiritual world, that's what we are going to do, serve Krishna and his devotees, right? So seva has to be there. Seva means you are inclined to give pleasure to Krishna, right? Bhakti means to develop this inclination that I have to give to God or I have to make God happy. If it's all about my happiness, then what is the role of me becoming a devotee then? And everyone in this world wants to be happy personally. So devotee means one who desires to give happiness to God, Krishna, isn't it? That's devotee. Seva. So coming to Krishna consciousness doesn't mean, oh, Krishna is so kind, Krishna is so merciful, Krishna is taking care of me, Krishna is providing me. Krishna is doing that for anyone, whether you are devotee or not devotee. That's not a big realization, isn't it? What is a devotee? A devotee is someone who thinks, for so many lifetimes, I neglected Krishna. I did not serve Krishna. I did not give Krishna that respect that he deserves. I did not give Krishna that attention, that priority, isn't it? Now in this life, I should try to express my gratitude and love to Krishna. So that's bhakti. And that means seva. How do you express your bhakti devotion? Through service. That's how you express your devotion, isn't it? So one should serve Krishna and at the same time one should serve the spiritual master. Now, what are the ways we can serve our guru? How can we serve our guru, our spiritual master?
By worshipping deities in the temple.
Uh, how do we serve our spiritual master? Let's be more direct. How do you serve the spiritual master? That personality, spiritual master. How?
By
Following
ourselves to Guru.
following the
How
instructions
do you
given to us
serve?
by our spiritual master.
Give some practical examples.
We
by
can
Following the instructions that are given to us by our spiritual master.
What are the instructions that the spiritual master will give? How do you serve
Uh,
the spiritual master?
we can clean clothes for them, like
Yeah,
all the
service means you do some practically for them, right?
by
Uh,
cooking,
so,
serving prasadam.
you cook for them, you help them
Prasadam
in their
serving.
teaching activities, right? You do some practical things like go shop for them, take them from one place to another place, right? So there are many things which you can do for a person, what you do in a relationship. That's how you can serve a spiritual master. So
By
there are two ways of
distributing
serving
books.
spiritual master. Yeah, distributing his books. You serve the spiritual master's personal, you fulfill the spiritual master's personal needs because the spiritual master has a body, correct? So there might be things related to be done for that. And then you also serve the purpose of the spiritual master.
yeah.
The spiritual master has some purpose, some mission, some agenda, spiritual agenda to fulfill. So you serve that purpose, isn't it? Correct. So that's how you serve the spiritual master. And what are the ways we can serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada?
By book distribution tools.
By
Like
accepting initiation.
Then
Krishna.
see, let's not mix up things. There is something known as sadhana and there is something known as seva, isn't it? Like if I am chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, I'm not chanting those 16 rounds for Prabhupada. I'm chanting those 16 rounds for myself. If I'm eating prasada only, I'm not doing that for Prabhupada. I'm doing that for myself. Isn't it? If I'm going to the temple and listening to a class, I'm not doing that for the speaker. I'm doing it for myself. So that is something which you are doing for yourself. That's called sadhana. Sadhana means something which you are doing for your spiritual nourishment, for keeping yourself spiritually healthy, isn't it? But after doing sadhana, what is the next thing? Now, what can I give in
Service.
return? What can I do for them? That's called seva. You understanding the difference? Isn't it? So that's called seva. Now, for example, just giving an example, a mother may tell the son, my dear boy, what service will you do for me? And the son will say, I'll eat 3 times a day, I'll sleep for 8 hours a day, I'll go to the school. This is the service I'll do to you. So mother will say, this is not service to me. This is what you are supposed to do to live, right? Service means if I am sick, you will massage my feet, right? If I am sick, you go to the market and do some shopping for me. That's called service. You're understanding? The child
So
cannot
the
say,
service,
"Oh, sorry."
service is the thing we do for the pleasure of others, not our pleasure.
Okay. Correct. Service is something which you do for others' pleasure, which is kind of a support. And when you say I'm chanting 16 rounds, I'll go to the temple, this is not you're going doing for them as a support. This you're doing for yourself, right? You understand the difference, isn't it? Mm. So there is a difference between sadhana and seva. So we have to do seva to Prabhupada's mission, which is like distribute his books, tell people about him, tell people about his teachings, try to support the temple financially, contribute some service in the temple, isn't it? Become a pujari, go and clean the temple sometime, help in prasad distribution. Different activities are so many different activities of how you can volunteer yourself, give your time and energy and money, right? These are the three ways to serve. What? Give your time, give your energy, and give your money, right? So this is how you serve. So that should be done towards Prabhupada's mission. Service is very important because service it attracts mercy. It attracts blessings. Um, it's very important, right? We should have that seva bhav, and it should be with everyone, regardless of who you are, brahmachari, grihastha, man, woman. The service attitude should be there. That what am I giving back in return? That's very important. Correct. Hmm. So, um, this is bhakti actually. Devotion means, what can I do for you? Prabhupada says, I only ask my Guru Maharaj this question whenever I met him. What can I do for you? Right? What can I do for you? So, how can I serve you? And Prabhupada says this that uh, about service. What does he say? Let's read this. I'll come on the please read.
You cannot pay.
E.
Just like if
That's like
you
If the volume is very less, how come your volume is so less?
just like if you purchase something,
Very less. Can't barely we can hear. Can you please come little close to the mic, to the phone
just
mic?
like if you purchase something, you must pay for it. Therefore, it is called sevaya. You cannot pay by returning the value which is taught by the spiritual master. That is not possible. Therefore, it is called sevaya. Dedicate your life for his service. You cannot pay what you have got to pay to a spiritual master. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Purport, Madhya Leela 16.64.
Yes. So this is the only way you can repay or pay back, do some service. Of course, that's not enough to completely pay back to the spiritual master because what you are getting in return is something which is invaluable. Krishna, spiritual master is giving us Krishna. And is there a value for Krishna? No. So what value can we pay back? Can't pay back any value, isn't it? But we are just putting efforts to show that yes, we are grateful, we have gratitude, we want to please you, we want to serve you, right? Uh, that should be the attitude. we should know one more thing, uh, that we have to serve both the spiritual master as well as the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Now, a person may think, are they not similar things or are they not the same? Serving Prabhupada's mission and serving the spiritual master. They are the same. At the same time, they're not the same. How it's not the same? Just like in a family, serving one member of the family doesn't mean you have also rendered service to all the members of the family, right? Serving the family means you serve each and every member of the family. So some people they think I'll serve only my spiritual master, no one else I will serve. Okay, that's incomplete. That's incomplete, isn't it? So you have to serve the spiritual master as well as you have to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Both are required. Because we owe to both. We owe to the temple also, we owe to the spiritual master also. We owe to the devotees who have helped us, brought us to Krishna consciousness also. So we need to have a balanced approach that I need to serve them all. Isn't it? Sometimes some devotees they are very naive. What they do is first they'll get connected to a temple. After 3-4 years, they'll get initiation. After getting initiated, they'll stop visiting the temple. And then they will tell, now I'm directly in contact with my spiritual master. But that's very wrong. Why? Because it's the temple which made you aware about Krishna consciousness. It's the devotees in the temple who help you become a devotee. It's the devotees in the temple who help you get initiation. So you have some responsibility to serve them also, to cooperate with them also, support them also. Isn't it correct? So that balance should be maintained or kept. That I should I should do my duties towards everyone nicely, and not become whimsical in my behavior. So how do you serve Prabhupada's mission? Prabhupada's missions, the best service we can do to Prabhupada's mission is to preach the message of Krishna consciousness. That is the best service. Devanshi Mataji, if you are available, can you read, please? Okay. Chand Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Spread the message. The devotees of Lord Chaitanya must preach Krishna consciousness in every village and town in the world. That will satisfy the Lord. This order comes down to the parampara system, and the spiritual master presents these orders to the disciples so that he can spread the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is duty of every disciple to carry out the order of a bona fide spiritual master and spread Lord Chaitanya's message all over the world. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.25, Los Angeles, June 23, 1970.
Right. Yes. Saloni Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu. You write that you have desire to avail of my association again, but why do you forget that you are always in association with me? When you are helping my missionary activities, I am always thinking of you and you are always thinking of me. That is real association. Letter to Govinda, Los Angeles, August 17, 1969.
Now, as a devotee, we know that we have so many responsibilities to fulfill. We have family responsibilities, professional responsibilities, social responsibilities, then spiritual responsibilities. So, being a devotee, we need to create a balance amongst all those responsibilities. We can't neglect any one of them. Just like you can't neglect any of the family member you're living together with, you can't neglect any of the responsibility that you have towards these, entities. And among the spiritual responsibilities we have responsibility towards the mission of Prabhupada, we have responsibility towards our personal spiritual masters, and we also have the responsibility towards the community of devotees that we are associated with. Isn't it? correct? So we have to take out time and energy to serve them all or to support them all. That's very important. So therefore, even if you're staying at home now and you're a grihastha, still you should have some service. No, just worshipping the deity at home is not service. Some devotees think, I have deities at home, I do this seva, that's my service. No, that is again your personal sadhana, which you are doing, serving the deities at home. Even if you are a grihastha congregation member, you should have some service in the temple, which you do, maybe visiting the temple once in a week and you do some seva there, or you do some seva sitting at your home, something which you are doing for the mission of Prabhupada, for the mission of your spiritual master, for those constant center which is near around you, something which you are doing that has to be there, right? It has to be there. And we can think of ways how can we do it. Whatever is comfortably possible for us, easily possible for us. Since the time this online medium has become so much evolved and so much available and accessible and ISKCON is so much on the online platform, devotees can do lots of services sitting at home, isn't it? So we should definitely also have that included in a spiritual life, doing some seva, right? Doing some seva. That's also very essential, right? And it should be natural for us. I have to do some seva to Krishna. Okay. In fact, service is something which gives you always a reason to go to the temple. I have a seva, I have to go there. I have a seva, I have to go there. I must go there. I have a seva. So you'll always have a reason to go to the temple because you have a seva. You always have a reason to associate with devotees because you have a seva, right? That is there. What does Prabhupada say? Actually, spiritual master is always with a devotee who is serving the spiritual master. That is real association. The spiritual master is present wherever his sincere disciple is trying to serve his instructions. This is possible by the mercy of Krishna. In your attempts to serve me and in all your sincere devotional sentiments, I am with you as my Guru Maharaj is with me. Remember this always. Nectar to Bhakta Dawn. His service is the connection between the Guru and disciple, actually. Service. Um, any question or comment? If you want to know about proper service attitude, what it means to serve the spiritual master, we should read about the life of Vaishnavas. We should read the life of Srila Prabhupada, the book called Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, and should learn from there how Prabhupada disciples served Prabhupada, how the different Vaishnavas in the past have served the Guru Maharaj or the other Vaishnavas. So, by hearing about that, reading about that, we also develop the understanding, oh, this is how I should be, this is how a devotee has to be, this is how service has to be done, this should be the attitude. Because honestly speaking, a person who is not a devotee doesn't know how to serve. Uh, in this world, there's nothing which is like service. In this world, it's like you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Isn't it? Everything is very calculated and with a personal agenda. I am giving because I expect something in return. But there's nothing like pure selfless service in this world. Very rarely you get that example. Yeah, Prabhupada says the relationship of a mother and son is, or mother and child is something very close to devotional service, real service. But even that is not completely pure, the way it is between pure devotee and Krishna, isn't it? So we don't know what is pure devotional service and we don't know what is pure love. We don't have any experience of it. Isn't it correct? So how do we now know what is pure love, pure devotional service? Only when we read and hear the examples and the stories and the life of personalities who did it, then you know, okay, this is pure love. This is how pure devotion service is. This is how we should serve. Like, I'll give you an example. However good son one may be, however good son one may be, will you find example of son in the present times where if the father is sick and father is sleeping on the bed, the son will sleep below the bed to immediately get up and help the father if required? No, very rarely you'll find such examples, isn't it? Huh? Even the son who is actually given birth by a father, biological father, will not have that kind of seva bhav or service attitude towards his father or mother, isn't it? But then we study the life of Prabhupada and his disciples. His disciples served him like that. There was a person. There was a personal secretary servant of Prabhupada, not secretary servant. His name is Shruta Kirti Prabhu. So when Prabhupada was terribly ill, and Prabhupada used to sleep on a bed, Shruta Kirti Prabhu used to sleep below the bed, right below the bed. That if Prabhupada wakes up and needs my help to sit or to stand and go to the washroom, he doesn't even have to call me. Immediately, I'll be standing on my feet to help. So, that kind of service attitude shows us, okay, this is how a disciple should be, isn't it? So then what happens is maybe we cannot copy them or imitate them or even follow them properly, but at least we know what is devotional service. At least we can desire someday I will also become such a devotee, or I will also try to become such a devotee. I will also try to develop such sentiments, such devotional sentiments, right? Isn't it? So we should read the life of Prabhupada. Prabhupada's life and his example is available in so many books. There may be around 45 to 50 books about the life of Prabhupada, written by different disciples of him. So we can read those books and know more about what is devotion service. Okay. No questions? So there are two ways to serve the spiritual master. What are those two ways? Broadly, they can be classified as Vapuhu Seva and Vani Seva. Okay, Vapuhu Seva means you serve the body, the physical body, and Vani means you serve the words or instructions of the spiritual master. Fine. What are the some ways that we can service Vapuhu? You already named those ways or listed those ways. You cook for him, you wash his clothes, you clean up the room where he's living, you drive him from one place to another place, you give him medicines, you do some shopping for him, and all those things, which can be done for a person. You do all that stuff. That is called Vapuha Seva. Correct? And what is Vani Seva? You you follow his instructions, you help him preach Krishna consciousness, you read his books, you distribute his books, you support financially his projects, his mission, his activities. That's Vanisya. Correct? Mhm. Mhm. Now, out of these two, which is more important?
Vani Seva Prabhuji.
Yes, it's more important and it is more continuous or regular because it can be done in any place, in any situation, regardless of whether you are physically close to the spiritual master or not. Vapu Seva is something which is not always possible for everyone, isn't it? So it is something which you may get an opportunity or you may not get an opportunity. And when the spiritual master has left this world, physically left this world, then also it's not possible to do Vapu Seva. But Vani Seva is eternal, constant, always possible. Correct, isn't it? Now, does it mean we should not do Vapu Seva? No, definitely not. We should do the Vapu Seva because even the momentary association of a sadhu can completely transform our life. Correct. So this verse is the sadhu sangha, sarva shastra koi, lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with the pure devotee, one can attain all.
One
Success.
also.
Right? Just a momentary association can attain all success. So one should do Vapu Seva if possible, as much as possible. But then that is not everything. Vani Seva is more important and Vani Seva will always be there, possible. So one should focus more also on that. Now, what is real association? Prabhupada is again reiterating a statement to, to for emphasis actually. Let's read this. Lalit Mehra Prabhu, please read. Unmute yourself.
Real association. You write that you have desired to avail of my association again. But why do you forget that you are always in association with me? When you are helping my missionary activities, I am always thinking of you and you are always thinking of me. That is real association. Letter to Govinda, Los Angeles, August 17, 1969.
Yes. Okay, give some examples of inappropriate behavior in front of the spiritual master. We'll just read through actually. It's already given in the handbook. Let's read this. Behaving appropriately in the presence of the spiritual master or guru. Page number 50 from the handbook. Upasana Mataji. Please read from the screen. Unmute yourself.
Rules of etiquettes for a disciples from Hari Bhakti Vilas. He should fall down like an uprooted tree, Dandavat, on seeing the spiritual master. When Guru approaches, he should face him, and when he leaves, he should follow him. He should not leave the spiritual master's presence without asking permission. He should not utter the spiritual master's name inattentively, but always with respect. He should not imitate the gait, activities, or voice of the spiritual master. He should always hold the spiritual master's words in great respect. Though he may be punished by the spiritual master, he should not take it unkindly. He should not bear to hear criticism of the spiritual master, the scriptures, or the Lord, but should leave the place immediately. He should not step on the spiritual master's garland, bed, shoes, asana, shadow, or table. He should not spread his legs before the spiritual master, nor should he yawn, laugh, or make disrespectful noises before him. He should not sit on an asana or bed before the spiritual master. He should not worship others in presence to the spiritual master. He should not give diksha, scriptural explanations, or show superiority in front of the guru. He should not give orders to the spiritual master, but always obey him. He should treat the spiritual master with similar respect. He should treat the wife, son, and relatives of the spiritual master as the spiritual master, but he should not clean the body of the son, take his remnants, or wash his feet. Qualifications of bona fide disciple from Hari Bhakti Vilas from Pancharatna Pradipa.
So what is the proper etiquette? will read about this, the etiquette. Shao and Mataji.
Hare Krishna. My dear Sanatana, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and the great saints are purified by touching you, it is the characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. If one transgresses the laws of etiquette, people make fun of him, and thus he is vanquished in both this world and the next. But by observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind.
So there, the way we inquire or ask from the spiritual master should also be done in a proper etiquette. We cannot challenge, we cannot demand, we cannot investigate. Uh, it's mentioned here, those who listen to the Bhagavatam may put questions to the speaker in order to elicit the clear meaning, but this should not be done in a challenging spirit. One must submit questions with a great regard for the speaker and the subject matter, right? One must be jigyasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science. Jigyasu uttamam. The word uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. So we should know that uh, though spiritual master is there to help us and guide us, it doesn't mean that we only discuss material problems with him or our spiritual master. I have this problem, I have that problem. Uh, that's not really the purpose of spiritual master. The spiritual master has come to help us spiritually, to give us transcendental knowledge. So yes, because he is a well-wisher, a friend, fatherly in nature, we can definitely express our mundane problems or material problems. And that person may also guide us. But at the same time, that's not all about the relationship we have with the spiritual master. So we should be spiritually inclined as well, spiritually inquisitive also. And we should know that's the main reason of coming together and having this relationship of disciple and spiritual master, isn't it? Uh, that's how we should inquire from the spiritual master. Next, give examples of disciples who perfected their lives just by doing Vani Seva.
Prabhupada it's himself.
Very good example. Prabhupada himself, how much time he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and how much time he spent and lived together with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Hardly, barely much time. But then he did so much of Vani Seva. And there are so many such disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they hardly got his association. But they were so sincere and they perfected their life by doing, Vani Seva. Isn't it?
Like Indra, only
Yeah,
he
and
met
hardly once he hardly got his association. So many examples. There's Radhanath Maharaj, so many Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj, so many of his disciples, they just barely met him and they
yeah.
still became such excellent, extraordinary devotees by very strictly following his instructions, right? Vani exists eternally. Yes, let's read this. Uh,
So
Upasana Mataji, go ahead.
although according to material vision, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada passed away from this material world on the last day of December 1936. I still consider His Divine Grace to be always present with me by His Bani. his words. There are two ways of association, by Vani and by Vapu. Vani means words and Vapu means physical presence. Physical presence is sometimes appreciable and sometimes not, but Vani continues to exist eternally. Therefore, we must take advantage of the Vani, not the physical presence. Chaitanya Charitamrit Antalila, concluding words.
Yes, we'll read this. Neela Mataji, please read.
Bug sitting on the lap. So far, personal association with the Guru is concerned, I was only with my Guru Maharaj 4 or 5 times, but I have never left his association, not even for a moment, because I am following his instructions. I have never felt any separation. There are some of my god brothers here in India who had constant personal association with Guru Maharaj, but who are neglecting his orders. This is just like the bug who is sitting on the lap of the king. He may be very puffed up by his position, but all he can succeed in doing is biting the king. Personal association is not so important as association through service. Letter to Satyadhanya, Calcutta, February 20, 1972.
Yes, separation, spiritual bliss, transcendental bliss. Please be happy in separation. I am separated from my Guru Maharaj since 1936, but I am always with him so long I work according to his direction. So we should all work together for satisfying Lord Krishna, and in that way, the feelings of separation will transform into transcendental bliss. Okay, so this lesson also gets over here. You should read up to page number 53 in the handbook uh, before you come for the next class. Next class will be the last class. We'll complete the lesson in the next, the course in the next class, which will be on Monday. Fine. And then after that, you'll have the exam as per the previous schedule only. As uh, I don't know which day was mentioned in the schedule. Maybe it was Sunday, the exam. So you'll have your exam on that day. Any questions or comments before we close the session today?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I didn't know much about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. I mean, I didn't know that he just met for few times, Prabhupada. Could you please explain a little?
Explain what?
I mean, how did he meet Prabhupada and for...
Well, he met Prabhupada only a couple of times because he was busy traveling and distributing his books, traveling to other countries, always on Sankirtan. So he hardly met Prabhupada or spent much time with Srila Prabhupada since the time he joined his convent. I mean, if you want to know more about him, then you can read about him in his biography, the book Black Lotus. But that's what, in short, he met a few times, just few times. Many such disciples of Prabhupada, they met Prabhupada only a few times. Only some of the disciples, they got a chance to associate with him for long, and they met him many times. But many of them, they hardly got to meet him for such long time, long periods. Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna.
So the exam is on 7th November. That is Thursday.
Okay, then, okay, Thursday, fine. All right. Yeah, so on Monday, Thursday, which is so late actually.
Yeah,
Mm,
Prabhu,
If,
can we come a little
if
before?
if you all are prepared, you can give the exam much before that because Monday is 28th of October, and I'll complete the class on Monday. So you can even give the exam on, I mean, Saturday or Sunday in your weekends.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Maharaj Yatra is there in one till November 6th.
You see,
Maya.
I'm telling in general for those who can give exam. Now, if you cannot give exam on Saturday, Sunday, you are available only after the yatra gets over, then for you personally, we can take the exam later also, no problem. But for those who can give the exam, they can give the exam on 3rd of November, which is Sunday. All right. Second is Govardhan Puja. So maybe you'll be busy going to temple. First is Deepavali. Second is Govardhan Puja. So third is Sunday. You can give the exam on Sunday. And if you can't give the exam on Sunday, then you give the exam on 7th.
Prabhuji, what time on Sunday?
Give me same time, 7 p.m.
And the
Okay.
written exam 20 marks now, Prabhu.
Yeah, 20 marks. CBS 20.
Okay. And when will we have the certificate or marks?
You'll get after 1 week of the exam. Means 1 week in the sense, I mean, we'll try to dispatch by 1 week. We send the certificate by courier. So it will take maybe 10 days to reach you.
Okay. But I can get to know the result now before that I have passed on.
Yeah, that is